My God, Mexico up in flames over the weekend. Trump does a 1-2. Looking at Iran, boom! Mexico leadership of the cartel taken out over the weekend. Absolute chaos and Thunderdome action for us. We have a lot to look at today. Obviously, Americans shellacked the Canadians up at their own game. Canada's mainstay sports of hockey overtaken by the Eagle this weekend. Shout out to that. Scarface Drew, right on. I don't really have any Scarface. I have one scar on my chin from skateboard when I was a child. But welcome to the show. Miss Isaac's mom, she's doing great. She's doing great. Good morning, Patton, Mama Crypto. Sack Nasty, good to see you for old time's sake. Been a while since I seen you up.
You are banned!
Boom. Got you and all the rest of you guys here. Welcome to the show here. Green Day, good to see you. Now, let's check out this general market. Make sure to give me a follow on X. Get this adjusted here real quick. I hot swapped into the show here at Drew Whitert. And I did share some internal thoughts that I have about China that I will expand upon in this show here this morning. But you can follow me on X to catch all that information. Now, see these posts coming out in the morning. The Dow Jones Industrial Average falling by 600 points in 30 minutes. I do feel inclined to go look at the S&P 500. Right now, there is a little bit of a haircut going on, but honestly, nothing to write home about. Not too concerned as things sit, but the world is pretty unsure, and Bitcoin is showing that with its price action. We're currently sitting at $65,500. Let's go check out the S&P to see if we can get a nasty dip on this bad boy and get some entry points on some of those better stocks we've been laying out the groundwork for over the last few weeks. The S&P, over the course of right around an hour's time frame, dropped by 1.4%. That is actually a pretty decent move for the S&P 500 and a very consistent selling pressure moment. But if you look at this thing on the daily, we're still just writhing around with our floppy, unexcited phallic here at the 6,800 mark. No big dip yet. But the general formation of exhaustion is starting to play out here. The little exhaustion starting to play out here. Mike Vollmer, good to see you. Good to see you, baby. All right, let's check this out. Local 11. It would be nice to hear your thoughts in depth on what jobs would be safe in the near future from AI. Maybe a video on that. You know what? That's a good idea. I should do a video on that. Absolutely. Does the Dow under 50K mean that we can investigate the Epstein files? You would freaking think so. Oh man. Yeah, the Epstein, the lack of justice. I'll put it this way. If we can't have justice in the United States against pedophiles, the worst of the worst, the entire system is broken. If the entire system is rotten because a provable 33% of the system that we built it for can't institute justice on the most evil in our society, we have a broken system. That's a condemned system. That's a condemned structure. And what do you do with condemned structures? You demolish, you rebuild. You demolish and you rebuild condemned structures. So shout out to Canada. We beat the communists, beating Canadistan in hockey and taking out the Mexican cartel leader in the same day. It's like we dominated both of our neighbors at their best sports on the same day. That felt good. Let's see here. This question. Why the hell are you even talking about buying stocks then? What are you talking about? I'd like to buy stocks when they pull back, Harisa. That's what you do. You buy things that are lower price so that you don't come into my chat and act like a prick when they're at high prices and you still feel like it's a crash. Let's go check out what's going on in Canadistan here. It's getting pretty heated. It's Mexico first. So this is Puerto Vallarta, and this is one of those resorts that people go to take their selfies, to talk about how shitty America is. And let's go here. And do you know what? I want to talk about this. Just because I feel this way about the government of America does not stop me from being bullish until the day I die on the resources and the people, the culture, and the country of America. I think America is unstoppable. So this is Puerto Vallarta, with a little bit of problems going on right now. Smoke from all sides here.
So I don't know if you can see that, but I can see the flames underneath that black smoke. Major flames there, huge plumes everywhere. Another big one over there. Another one directly behind this resort we're staying at. Pretty much surrounded by this right now. Really intense scene happening here in Puerto Vallarta. Hopefully we're able to get out tomorrow, but the airports are shut down as it is right now. And as I understand it, military may be getting involved soon. Power may be cut very soon. So pray for us, guys. This situation's intense.
Absolutely crazy. Now, the fires that are in the backdrop are mostly buses. The cartel were attacking taxi cab drivers and really just doing spot attacks to kind of instill a little bit of fear, a little bit of chaos in it. I want to find out actually in the background if the airports at Puerto Vallarta operational right now. So I'm going to be asking this right now to some sources that I got in the background here. I am curious, are you guys planning on going to Mexico? Because I've seen a lot of people complaining about ICE that wanted to do their sabbaticals in Baja California. They wanted to take them down in Cabo. And I know a lot of people that really like going down to Mexico. Tourism is a major economy for Mexico, and Puerto Vallarta is a beautiful location to take a trip to. Very, very sad to see the failed state of Mexico controlled by literal drug cartels that can't even control them. And this is where the idea of America and Monroe Doctrine 2.0 and controlling by force the Western Hemisphere makes a whole hell of a lot of sense. So I'm probably going to upset some people with my conversation on how the world views America through this show. But I feel that the psyop that American, even military leadership being fools, the general public of America being fools, and that we are this weak, easily toppled nation, I think it's a psyop. I think it's a psyop to a large degree. Now, we're going to go through these cartel stories here. While Mexico is weak, Trump should take Baja California and rename it Western Florida. I do not hate this idea by any means. I do not hate the idea of Western Florida. We could also take over Canada and Snow Mexico, could be the name of that. And I do want to highlight this about Canada's loss to the United States in the hockey game at the Olympics. The last time we saw a win like this for America in the hockey realm was actually we beat Russia. We beat the communists of them in the 80s. It was a monumental moment, and it was very signaling that the Americans were beating the Russians, the communists, on the ice. And then what followed was a win on the information war against Russia by the United States, right? Russia never rose and overtook America. America is this, the world has never seen a military as effective as the United States, ever, full stop. And now you implement AI technology. Everyone thinks that we're going to go drop 100,000 troops into the middle of Iran to get stuck in the mountains. You got another thing coming, all right? You have another thing coming. Military movements and war have changed in a very, very fast and violent manner. Better get my shout out to 2Bit. If you guys are out there trading, do it on 2Bit. Support the channel. Bitcoin IRA got my wonderful, I don't even know what you call this. It's like a pullover. I love this thing. And Arculus for your cold storage devices. I had to get the banner up there. And they support our channel very, very well. Now, this is crazy. People are out here posting, just booked a 10-day family vacation in Cancun for the end of April. 55% less than I paid last year. Don't miss these deals. There are some people out here trying to take advantage of the lack of interest in going down to Mexico with their entire family. I would just say, is your family worth, putting their life on the line for a little bit of a deal. Myself, I have no interest in dragging my family down to Cancun. And you know what? I'm not going to emotionally lash out against the American government by going and hanging out in a failed state of Mexico that's controlled by drug leaders. That is never happening. So, this got some information here. So the airport in Puerto Vallarta does look operational as of now, physically open, secure under Mexican authorities like the National Guard, with no official closures of today. The airport operator has confirmed it's the Grupo Aeropuerto del Pacifico, has confirmed that the internal operations of the facility are safe and unaffected as things sit right now. So it looks like the attacks that were pulled off yesterday, they didn't have a long-term effect. And honestly, in my heart of hearts, I kind of feel like might have been Kirkland signature special forces going in and at minimum assisting, because if it was just the Mexican military that pulled it off, why didn't they do this earlier? Shine bomb, the new president down there in Mexico, I think is a front. And I think that they honestly need American involvement to be able to pull off anything like this. El Hencho, I think is his name, was in control for quite some time. Now, speaking of men in control, shout out to Kim Jong-un, friend of the channel, has been reelected as the General Secretary of the Workers' Party of Korea. So it looks like he's got a stronghold in North Korea, and he's going to have one just the same as his father did. There is no escaping. North Korea has been running propaganda and psyops on their population for decades now. Inside of the homes of North Korea, they have decorated propaganda posters that they're required to have on their walls of how incredible Kim Jong-un is. And he is in total control. He's in total control of the country. He wins, and people that dissent against him within the state are executed by a 50 cal mounted on a turret. So you're not going to see much much bad behavior out of the people towards Kim Jong-un. Now, Trump is looking for a tariff dividend of potential. Are we talking funny money being dropped by the Trump administration? Is he going to buy us off with a $2,000 stimmy check? Let's have a listen to see what's going on, because I thought tariffs were completely undone. What the hell is going on in the world?
With Kevin Hassan on that, or do you think you can do that unilaterally?
No, I don't think we would have to go the Congress route, but we'll find out. The reason we're even talking about it is that we have so much money coming in from tariffs that we'll be able to issue at least a $2,000 dividend and also pay down debt for the country. But we'd do a $2,000 dividend to the people of our country. Would probably set a limit of income limit where it made sense. But we will be able to make a very substantial dividend to the people of our country. I believe we can do that without Congress.
All right. So let's just act like Trump is telling us the hardcore truth here, and that we're going to have $2,000. Whoa, huge amount of money show up in our account out of the blue. Are you guys keeping it in cash as a rainy day fund? Are you YOLOing it into meme coins? Or are you putting in S&P 500? What would you do with a $2,000 stimmy check? I have my own ideas, but let me know what you guys would do in the comments here. If you did receive a tariff dividend check and Trump just decides to disperse all the money he's been taking from these countries with tariffs, even though the Supreme Court's like, no, you can't do it. Trump, you know what? I can do a licensure on tariffs then. It's all legal mumbo jumbo change of words on if he can or cannot do what he's doing. And honestly, he's the president. It has to do with national security. He's going to fucking do what he's wanting to do anyways, besides the point. Pokemon cards, 2 chicks at the same time, $2,000 worth of toilet paper, YOLOing into Bitcoin. You would buy Tau. All right. You'd buy some Tau, some altcoin moves, precious metals. All right. Buy the top, babe. I mean, you have at it. Let's see here. Put it all on black at the casino. Not a bad move. Pokemon cards are up and to the right. That's a decent play. Save the 2000 until November and then buy BTC. 50% in yield-bearing stable coins. More gel for the mullet. You know, I have plenty of gel for the mullet, and this gel that I have actually smells like coconut. My daughter thinks that I am just the fanciest person on the planet. I can't remember what kind of hair gel this is. My wife got it for me. And she does a lot of things for me. And God bless you, Tia, for taking such good care of me. She came home, and me and my son, she got us these huge hair gel things. She went to the chicks here in Georgia, and they know a lot more than I do about hair gel, and it is fantastic stuff. Buy some baby chickens. I bought some baby chickens this weekend. Drew, I'm 50. Haven't cut hair in 3 years. This October, okay. Our Pokemon cards outpacing Magic Card on demand. Been out of the game for a while. You know, some of the Pokemon cards are starting to pop. Buying bullets. You know what? Small arms ammunition. That graph is up into the right too. Honestly, some of the best set it and forget it investments I have are mass amounts of 5.56 rounds that are like, I got them for like 15 cents a piece or something like that. Something stupid. I think it even might have been like 10 cents a piece way back. I haven't had to buy ammo in years. And honestly, the price of ammunition, boom, it's up and to the right. So not bad. Morpho, you're giving me FOMO. It's good to be a lead well, Mike, it is very, very good to be a lead well. Let's keep moving through the stories here. We are in mass chaos, and there's a lot of economic information to cover to stay informed and on top of the world. Now, U.S. housing market. Pending home sales fell to their lowest level on record. Why would the price of homes be still at elevated levels? If the demand is falling to the lowest levels we have on recording, what in the world is happening to the prices? Why won't the prices pull back? Well, I won't say that houses are impervious from a major pullback, but we have been seeing 10%, 15%, some places 30% drawbacks. But one of the main things that people don't get is that buildable land and the resources that go into building out the infrastructure for that land and the structures on top of it is a finite resource. And our construction industry has been told that you're stupid and you need to go find some white collar job that will be immediately replaced by AI for the last 20 years. So a lot of our youth now think that they all deserve these cushy white collar positions that are now being done away week by week by AI advancements. And our construction force is minimal. And on top of that, the slave labor force that we've been using here in the United States to produce these new cookie cutter boxes. Honestly, the new houses suck. The new houses made of OSB. It absorbs all the water as it's raining. Then they put the casing on top of it with some plastic veneer, and then it molds a brand new house in record time. They just don't make them like they used to. The price of houses heavily tied into mainstay economic stability here in the United States. And you're likely going to see a vicious defense of those home prices, even if it means using our own tax dollars to keep the houses off the market to hoist up the economy. Don't be surprised if you see that happening. Land under them does. Yeah, the land is the key. That's why I live in a hole in the ground DeFi. Oh my God. That is absolutely crazy. Yeah, AI influencers are going to have great deep alpha, bro. Yeah, absolutely. You know what? Let's go to the AI influencer that's been like, I have this like AI thing that's been following me around on all the things that I put up. So I put out this, this morning. And this is my internal thoughts that China's hubris is going to be their downfall. They think America military leadership is stupid enough to airdrop 100, 200,000 troops into the center of Iran mountains. And this is me pushing back against that. His response: China's real Achilles heel is its export dependent economy. Any naval blockade crushes 30% of GDP overnight. Stupid, because they can offload that to the left of them. And the relationship between the United States and China has been deteriorating rapidly. Demographics are the slow killer, though. Median age 39 versus China. India's 28. What are you talking about? That the young hoop slinging in India is going to outpace the median age of 39 in China. I get so much slop responses on my post here. Also, this is delicious. I was a little bit afraid to try this ghost pepper hot sauce this weekend. This isn't as hot as they come from Yellowbird, but this was absolutely delicious. Very much so. I'm going to get a referral link for Yellowbird. I am addicted to hot sauce, and I think Yellowbird is one of the best out there. Give it a try. Give it a try. And apparently, I was looking at my Amazon orders, and apparently I have like a pallet of Nanitas green chili on the way. So I'm excited for that. You got the Yellowbird sriracha right about that. India, ask him about global warming. Oh Lord. All right. So I want to go through altcoins now. I want to go into altcoins now, and I'm going to work through this. I didn't look at this too closely, so I'm going to kind of dissect this as I go with you guys. From Star Platinum, beware the posts. You know, it's a very popular account. It's an ambassador account, and I've seen a lot of disinformation come out of this account. USD1 lost its peg after deleted retweet. So first of all, let's cross-check and just see if USD1 indeed did lose its peg to the dollar. This is a World Liberty Financial stablecoin, right? Let's look at what it's. Oh, shit. All right. All right. So we got some turbulence. We got a little bit of turbulence, and it dropped down to about 99.47. Not too much of a loss, but granted. All right. We got some turbulence in the air. Go on. USD1 dropped on February 23rd around 1347 UTC. Price fell to 99.42, and some wicks touched 98.02. World Liberty Fi dropped at the same time from 11.69 to 10.95. So let's go actually look at that as well, because this is going to be a spicy thing if this unravels. If there's an attack vector that anyone can go after Trump through World Liberty Fi and his sons, they're going to exploit it for sure. Yeah, it's honestly like this is nothing. This is nothing. It's still 11.29. Yeah, this is general altcoin movement. This is general basic altcoin movement in a bear market. 8% down in minutes. Problem was simple. Eric Trump deleted a retweet about USD1 pairs on Binance. Donald Trump, don't trust CZ. CZ asshole. The deletion starts the panic. On-chain data shows Noel selling over 50K during the drop. And neither large liquidity levels removed. On Solana, there were about 70 small swaps, most under $10,000. In Ethereum, there were no major transfers. USD1 supply stayed around 2.1 bill. World Liberty supply near 99.9 billion, and USD1 volume dropped around 3.7 billion. Blah, blah, blah. Within 2 hours, the USD1 recovered. Almost full recovery. World Liberty Fi stayed a few percent lower. This was social FUD and deleted tweet. Yeah, I'd actually agree with this assessment. It's just short-term social FUD. Eric should probably be careful about his tweet game. Eric probably should, shut the fuck up when it comes to price action, because the market, the whales, and Binance liquidity makers are going to smell that, and they're going to make you look like an idiot. That's what I think. Generally speaking, World Liberty Fi, it's a disruptive attempt at a nation, like a political family's attempt to test DeFi in crypto. It's been a painful ride. And if you've had just blind faith in this thing since it came out, you're down, let's say you just bought the guts and things look like they were going to upswing. You're now down, what is this, 47%? When we're looking at altcoins, you guys, there's only a few that are bucking the trends. And the main thing that I'm using for timing when to go back into altcoins heavy, because I'm not done with altcoins by any stretch of the imagination. I am not done with altcoins, but it's the season for capital preservation and making sure I locate ones that have strength in the next iteration of the bull market. I do want to look at Bitcoin first and foremost to look at how the money flow is looking. So someone was asking earlier in the other show, what's the best setup for TradingView? Honestly, I don't even need the paid version, but what I do need and love having is Market Cipher. Market Cipher is not cheap, but I've used this thing for years and it hasn't done me wrong. So, how I use it in the general ebb and flow of things is on the weekly. The weekly matters the most to me. And the weekly money flow wave, very, very beat down. And Lord love a duck, this money flow is trying to flatten out and fight back a little bit. It's got a trigger right here. The VWAP trigger wave is trying to move back to the upside. Moving averages going against us, though. And, for timing in general, I've only liked buying in mass when the weekly is pushed down to the 60 level. And, looking at this, we are there right now, but it takes weeks and weeks for us to dig ourselves out of this red money flow. So I think right now, FOMOing in and thinking I'm going to miss out if I don't jeet everything into altcoins, trying to catch the perfect bottom, I don't feel that way. We've had that wick to the downside at 59K. Won't be surprised at all if we dip into the 50s and end up swooping back up and waiting for essentially the end of summer to see the money flow start to round out, right? And these money flow waves, they're never clean. So we can see something like this, a little bit lower, and then start that swoop up process at the end of the summer. This is more likely what I think the money flow wave is going to end up looking like. I think the bear market's going to be a lot shorter than people expect. I don't think it's going to last all year. It's going to be violent to the downside, which it absolutely has. Fear is now hitting its worst levels that it's ever hit in Bitcoin, and you're down by 52%. But I've had this thesis since ETFs got approved and nations started talking about Bitcoin, is that instead of a 75% pullback, turn into a 65% pullback, which is what the general consensus of diminished losses looks like. Diminished losses go from the previous all-time high, 2017, down to lows was 83%. Then our 2021 pullback was about 75%. So diminished losses go into the mindset that, all right, you go from 83% to 75%, likely going to look at a 65% pullback from the all-time high of Bitcoin. Let's see what that would bring you to. That'd bring you all the way to 44K. I am of the opinion that since ETFs came into play, since nation state adoption is being figured out right now, it's not implemented, but they are interested. I think that a 55% pullback on Bitcoin from Pico top to where the real bear market floor is makes all the sense in the world to me as my investing thesis goes. 55% comes at $56,000, the guts of this volume node, and hence why I am buying in this season. Now, wait, there's a State of the Union? Give me the time on that. Give me the time on that, baby. When's the State of the Union? I want to see what that happen when that is happening. That'd be absolutely lit. That would be absolutely lit. I hope it's soon. Now, it looks like a major investigation dropping in February 26th. So in 3 days, Zach XBT says that he's going to drop a major investigation on one of crypto's most profitable businesses where multiple employees abused internal data to insider trade over a prolonged period of time. I want your guys' guesses in the chat. This is a very profitable business, pound for pound. Now, when it comes to my mind, there's Tether. There is, a couple. There's J-Chains. I'm going to give you a like, J-Chain. No one give J-Chains a like. What's going on here? Shout out to you, J-Chains. Let's see here. I want to see. Oh, God. I've got to be careful going through these. Pump Fun. Pump Fun is a very profitable organization, pound for pound. Tron. Oh, my God. Sahil. I was able to talk to Sahil a little bit. He has no remorse for the rug pulls he's done. No remorse at all. So Pump Fun's a pretty good check. Shane Copland from Polymarket. Make this into a market twin. We should bet on this. On Polymarket. I want to know what you guys think. Who do you think is the major organization that's going to be called out by Zach XBT? Now, tomorrow, is the State of the Union tomorrow? Oh, my God. Let's make sure. That would be absolutely awesome. That would be absolutely awesome. Most of my time this weekend was on war theory for World War III. And I will just say that the Chinese think that American leadership at the military brass level is retarded. And that they say that we have hubris here in America. You are completely underestimating us. You're completely underestimating the most effective military fighting machine the world has ever seen. And you are completely underestimating the advancements in AI technology that we like. Think about the shit that we know about here in the United States. The military doesn't tell us about what their actual ace up the sleeve is. They never tell us. I don't even want to imagine the top end tech that American military has. Speech tomorrow at 9 p.m. or 9 Eastern, 6 p.m. All right. Chinese spy snow. Ooh. A spy. A spy in our snow. Okay. Let's get yes, the State of the Union address is tomorrow, Tuesday, February 24th. Let's see here. Donald Trump speaking, delivering a joint session of Congress at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Time. It'll be broadcast live on major networks. Yada. Okay, awesome. We got to cover that. That's going to be a late night show. We got to cover that. Get our popcorn ready. You know, Trump always has the best State of the Union. If you love him or hate him, this man is an entertainer. We are at peak cinema levels. El Mencho causing mayhem after he is killed. Yes, Crypto Serenity. It is El Mencho, and you know he's dead now. Died like a dog. That's what Trump's going to say tomorrow. They're causing chaos. You know, they're causing chaos, and they want to make the idea that they're this unstoppable force. You know what? I had a funny run-in here. So I take recycling to the recycling location locally. And they open the back, and the dudes that are taking the recycling out of the back of my truck, they're inmates, right? And so I get out of the truck, I open the back, and they look at me like, where the fuck are you going with all this? I'm like, this is my standard operating procedure. This is what I drive around with. And they're like, this is why I do not fuck around in this county, is because you never know. Most of you motherfuckers are driving around with this stuff. You know what? The Second Amendment in the United States makes for the most armed population on planet Earth. It's Democrat hellholes where they have psyoped people into giving up their right for self-sovereignty and the right to protect themselves, where most of these criminal actions from these scary individuals come from. Exercise your right. You have a right to be a spicy boy in the United States. So we're definitely going to be covering the State of the Union address. Now let's keep moving to the rest. Vitalik Buterin dumping at the best times. Man, he just loves putting salt in the wound. So in the past 2 days, he sold nearly 2,000 Ethereum worth $3.6 million. And during that time, ETH fell from 1988 to 1875, down 5.7%. The last time he sold was 7,000 Ethereum, about $14 million, and ETH dropped from 2,300 to 1825, a 22% fall. Thanks a lot, Vitalik. We should have known that there was problems when you came out as a socialist commie prick. And price is just having a dump session for itself. And it's incredible. This is from Kevin Malone, how every crypto holder of all different asset classes all decided to sell their coins at the exact same time. So glad Wall Street adopted the crypto narrative. And this is the market makers are more in control of this dump. Yes, Vitalik is dumping, but really the main culprit behind a vast majority of these altcoins and their concise, in-synchronized dumping timeframes is indeed market makers, in my opinion. Now, I want to take a look at the general market. I am seeing some altcoins that we've been able to pick out that are showing more resilience than others in this downtrend. Now, Midnight, flowers where flowers are due. Midnight is resilient. The privacy layer developed by the leadership of Cardano, being resilient. The other ones that I saw is Canton just will not give up any ground. Canton is being vicious, causing me a little bit of extra FOMO on Canton. Absolutely. Morpho still up by 60% on the week. I am still indeed being greedy. I want the $1.30 mark for adding to Morpho positions here. I left a little bit behind when I insulated myself from the 86 mark on Bitcoin. the market flushed down, but Canton is honestly looking very, very strong comparatively. And let's go through the weeklies here because I'm not touching Pippin. That's an insider play. Morpho and then Kite. I don't really, I know that some people had a couple Kite altcoins in their portfolio. Injective, you know what? Let's go look at Injective. I saw some pretty good looking stuff on Injective on the members only stream last week. And that members only stream, shout out if you caught it, because we are looking at Injective. It's actually played out a lot more of its downtrend than a lot of these altcoins have. And now it's setting up a bullish divergence on the weekly with a fresh green dot. And it actually might be ready to move counter to the rest of the markets here. So I don't have any Injective, but I am just calling out general strength when I see it. The last time you had these massive sell-off moments, you did get to this. Honestly, you didn't even get to this momentum wave, but something similar with a double green dot was right at around $6. And just that short-term pump allowed it to rise by about 166% before falling to its current level. So it pumped 166% in the most recent past when I saw this double green dot. But when it got this deep in momentum wave sell-off, this is actually something to note. So Injective was this beat down at about $1 and some odd cents. It rose. It went on to rise by 4,300% from there. And it's got a higher low, like a very clear higher low, mass fear, and it's seeming to want to try to pump out of this. No, I had to increase my hopeful entry on Morpho, man. It's $1.20. I had to increase it. Morpho's showing too strong. It's too strong. And I think Morpho is absorbing a lot of the Aave exits or the Aave FUD that's going on right now. It's that cash is flowing into Morpho. So, I'm having to just acknowledge the strength it's showing. And that is where I am looking for. Venice AI tripled. Oh no. Caspa looking strong. Let's go look at the Caspa chart. Is it holding that pump 2 moment? 57K incoming. That better be accurate. Are we actually dumping on Bitcoin? All right, let's look at Caspa. I like you, Bardazan. Even though you're crazy and a lot of people think you're annoying, I think you're cool. Okay, so that's where we're going here. All right. I think it's because you're a proof of work, Maxi. The Cantillon effect. You speak my language with the Cantillon effect. If an asset class is black baggable by any agency, beware. Right? It is trying to hold this 3-cent spot. Yeah, and you're going to see a lot of diamond handing in this zone. You're going to see a lot of it. I don't put it out of potential to tap the 1.3 level, but in general, you're going to see it try to defend itself here. So short is printing. Let's go here. Let's go check out the BTC chart. Let's go check out. Okay. All right, 64. Holy God. $64,000. And also something to note is that I don't think that we're going to avoid tapping into the 50s again. And that the $67,000 mark right about here, this is where the most Bitcoin in Bitcoin's history have traded hands. So this is likely going to act at least as short-term resistance, right? Any short-term rally to the upside, I'm looking for 67 as that point where it runs into turbulence and gets slapped back down. So absolutely crazy. And this is the time I feel so alive in this time frame. We have Canada, mass cope as they lost in the hockey game against the Americans in the Olympics. Failed state of Mexico on fire because they let themselves be ran by cartels and gang members. So now you have Delta Force going in to fix the problem. And the United States encircling Iran. Everyone thinks that we're going to drop a bunch of people in there to go get trapped into the topography of Iran. Are going to be sorely sorely mistaken when we decide to just embargo it and let Palantir and Google AI killbots run rampant and create the dystopian hellscape that they are capable of doing so in an automated fashion. This is the new world. This is the new way of military. And we got to call it like we see it. America is not as retarded as people think we are. And I think that the idea that America is so easily toppled is far-fetched. I think that the only way to do that is to shut down the power in aggregate across the country for an extended period of time and let the country eat each other alive, which I don't think is going to happen. There is a potential that it happens, but that potential is around 4, maybe 3 to 5% potential that during the course of World War III, they're able to shut down the electrical grid of the United States. So if that is the case, you're damn right I prepared for that just in case. The new solar system is in. I got to go cut down a bunch of trees and build a new fence line to fight back because I think my neighbor got the coyote that took out that pile of chickens last week. I think he did because I was out there waiting for it. And like, it felt like next door. I hear the pop, 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 and I left, I was waiting. I had set up so that by all rights, that coyote should have came back for the entrails of what it left behind, but I haven't seen it come back since. I think my neighbor got it. So thankfully for that, I don't think I have to deal with that, but protein on a hoof, water filtration, shelter, backup shelter, power generation, all of these things are important things to think about if you are overseeing a family, if they rely on you for their food and for their security and for their purpose of, moving through the day. That's on your shoulders as a father or a parent, a mother. That's on your shoulders. So you need to be thinking about these things critically because we are entering into Thunderdome here. Let's see here. So much fun on Canton. Yeah, I mean, Canton is great. Canton's been treating me well. Lived in a town up north. Everybody owns several guns. Crime rate was 0%. Exactly. Right. An armed society is a polite society. And thank you very much, Chris Wallen, for joining our channel as a fresh member, supporting us with $5 a month. That goes a lot farther than people give it credit for. You guys help me keep the lights on. You help me call this market as I see it. And honestly, you allow me to play defense in a market that is largely rolling over right now. I don't have to come up here and shill something that's going to zero to keep the lights on. I get to stay on X because I'm not a paid partnership organizer on X. And honestly, I think the extinction of X crypto shills deserves to happen because they've led many millions of people to slaughter over the last few years, and they deserve to never come back. Right? God is Jesus. God and Jesus Christ are King. That is right. Hit the like. I'm going to go enjoy the day. And you know what? I got chicken parmesan. I'm pretty good at making chicken parmesan. Made it for the family. Hopefully the wife is enjoying that food. The Chef and Drew came out. When the Chef and Drew comes out, I'm pretty good. I don't know how to make a lot of stuff, but what I do know how to make, I make it well. Love your wife. Love your kids. Love your family. Be good. I'll see you on the next.